Hello everyone, this video is part of a new series where I play Skyblock a bit slower than I usually do and use it as sort of a guide for anyone who's just starting out in Skyblock, getting back into it, or just wants something to watch in general, or even as background noise. This is based on how I play Skyblock, so obviously it won't be the same as other YouTubers' gameplay, and I do tend to lean more towards skills like farming and foraging, which please don't come at me feel like I'm foraging. But anyway, I hope you enjoy the rest of the video and the series. Once my profile was created, I started completing the objectives that would help me get to the other side of my island and to get to the hub, which you can do /hub, but I wanted to get all this out of the way. I started this on the last day of Derpy as well, so all of my skill XP is boosted by one of Derpy's main perks, which is an additional 50% skill XP, and this helped me quite a bit more than it usually would as I was leveling up my skills quicker, but overall the progression is still the same as it normally would be. I did the basics of making a crafting table, getting some cobblestone slabs, and then bridging over to Jerry and the cobblestone minion on the other side, and then going through the portal. And once I was in the lobby, I swapped to a lobby with just myself in it, which would reduce all the lag that I get in bigger lobbies, and then I got to work on talking to all of the villagers. I went and completed some more objectives that were set in the hub by talking to Kat and George, and then went to the carpenter to unlock carpentry, farmed some wheat to buy the wool from the wool weaver, which costs just over 2k. Once I'd got the 2k needed, I went to buy it, and then unlocked carpentry by giving the carpenter the stack of wool. I decided to make my first farming set, which was the farm suit armor, which gave me some XP towards my carpentry level, and I also decided to discover all the areas in the hub as well, just to get the objective done so it doesn't bother me throughout the rest of the profile. And I also took a trip to the museum where I donated my rogue sword and my farming armor to claim the Skyblock XP given when you donate items to the museum. I also done some little things like getting my foraging up a bit and getting a sweet axe from the lumberjack to get my foraging up to level 5, just temporarily though. And after selling my apples, I bought 2 talismans from the adventurer and finished off exploring the hub, although I completely forgot about the bank and I did not realise this until a bit later. I then gave up trying to figure out what area I'd missed because the bank completely slipped my mind, and I went back to farming, which I leveled up to Skyblock 1 during the process and got my farming up to 8. I then went back to the adventurer to get a few more talismans that I would need at the time in like the general hub area, and then I finally figured out that it was the bank that I'd missed out, so I put my 2k in the bank and then took it back out because I realised that I needed a sword, so I went to buy the undead sword from the weaponsmith. And then to kill zombies a lot easier, I wanted to enchant it with Smite 5 and reforge it to Sharp, so I made my way to the librarian and the blacksmith to get the 30 levels for Smite 5, get the 10 coal to start reforging with the blacksmith, and then use my own coins to then get Sharp, which took a few tries. And once my sword was enchanted and reforged, I headed back to the graveyard to start killing zombies for obviously the combat XP. And when I hit combat level 1, I went to the spider's den because there's a pet you can collect really early on, which is the Grandma Wolf pet, so I collected the Grandma Wolf pet, which helps me get some taming XP as I'm progressing throughout the game at a very early stage as well. By the time I'd swapped back to a different lobby, the zombie villagers were out, so I decided to get their bestiary up and just kill a bunch of them so they get maxed out a lot quicker. But by this point I'd actually forgot to unlock bestiary, so you know, we'll pretend I knew that and didn't realise until a bit later again. But if I'm going to be honest, combat's probably my most hated skill, so by the time I got to combat level 5, I was so sick of it, I wanted to give up, so I gave up. I got an EU up and I toggled the fairy soul waypoints 2 on and collected 20 fairy souls, and then headed to Tia in the wilderness to collect my free Skyblock XP. I then went back to the weaponsmith to buy some swords I already knew counted towards a museum, and then checked the combat levels on Rosetta's armor, which is just some free armor sets, well not free but somewhat cheap armor sets for the beginning stages of your profile. They aren't necessary, but if you want quick cheap armor in the beginning, then you know that's your go-to place. And then from donating all the swords, I gained 22 Skyblock XP and leveled up to level 3, which gave me some more health and access to the community shop. And then I headed over to the gold mine, got the iron pickaxe, which we needed to get anyway. I unlocked the coal, gold and iron minions, and then I headed to the deep caverns where I unlocked the lapis minion, but I forgot I didn't have any armor or anything, so I didn't go any further because I was not prepared to take on anything. And then after that I went to the barn to unlock carrots, potatoes, pumpkins and melon, leveled them to around 3 just as like a base level, so if I wanted to make any minions out of the resources then I could. And then I also crafted some pumpkin armor and added that to my museum, and then once I donated that to the museum I went back to foraging, which is one of my most favourite skills, which please don't hate me for that, but it's the truth. And then I travelled to the park and collected all the woods, up to level 3 again. 3 is just the best number for beginning collections. And I gave a stack of birch and a stack of dark oak wood to Charlie, and then he gives you a free small storage, which is really lovely. And then also during that, I got to Skyblock level 5, so I unlocked the wardrobe in the garden, which spoiler for the next video. But yeah, so garden is one of my most favourite places in Skyblock. Absolutely love the garden, especially with the new updates. But by this point, I'd actually realised I hadn't unlocked bestiary, so went back to the spider's den, unlocked it, and then claimed my bestiary level, which was only 1. But obviously the more mobs you kill, the higher their bestiary level gets. And then every 5 bestiary levels, so like every 50 kind of milestones for mobs, you get some combat XP, which is a nice little addition. You can use it on pets. I think some people tend to use it, most people use it to upgrade their combat pets. Some people use it on G-Drags because they have them, or you can just claim it anyway without a pet and still get a bunch of combat XP. And you can collect the XP every 5 bestiary levels as well. And then I bought a bee pet so I could have a farming pet, because especially in the beginning stages, buying a rabbit or an elephant pet is just out of budget, especially if you want a legendary one, whether that's just level 1 or level 100 or between that. Like it's still so expensive. I think minimum for even just a level 1 elephant pet when I last checked legendary was at least like 20 mil, so you're not going to get that within like 5-10 minutes of a profile. I mean, it took me 2 hours to get Skyblock level 7, which for me that's an achievement. Usually I'm quite slow, and this has slowed down a bit, so I don't quite understand how it only took me 2 hours. But nonetheless, I bought a bee pet so I could get some farming XP for when I get into the garden. Obviously I only bought common because I'm not spending that much money and that many materials so early game, and also the common's the easiest one to buy and it still gives you Skyblock XP, so I can't really complain. And then by that point I'd realised that netherwort was the only crop in the hub that I actually hadn't farmed yet. It completely slipped my mind, so I went and farmed some netherwort next to the witch. And then once I'd got that to level 3, of course, I went over to the desert settlement, which is where you get cocoa beans, sugarcane, cactus, and also sand. Sand's a really good little block to level up. It's really quick. And obviously got those up to level 3. But I'd also like to point out, never in my life of playing Skyblock, I've been playing Skyblock for over like 2 years now, 2.5 years, never once have I got a cactus lobby that good. Never. As soon as I recorded that, I went and streamed not long after on a different profile, was swapping lobbies to find a good cactus lobby for probably about 20-25 minutes total, if not more. So it's safe to say I got very lucky with this cactus lobby, and it was a dream come true. There was nobody there, which is just a miracle in itself, that was farming cactus or sand. So I practically had that whole space to myself, and you bet I took advantage of that. And then whilst I was farming cactus as well, I also unlocked Skyblock level 6, which means you get auto pickup, which means your blocks aren't lying on the floor and you don't have an excuse to not pick stuff up unless your inventory's full, but it notifies you anyway. And that made me really happy because I hate not being able to auto pick up things. It's just one of the things that really annoys me, especially when people don't pick up their blocks. So I was delighted to find out I had Skyblock level 6. Obviously made cactus armor and donated it, because why wouldn't I? It's free Skyblock XP, gonna take advantage of that. And then obviously I still needed XP to get to level 7, which is my main goal, because at level 7 you unlock Bazaar. You can start doing ice trades every 24 hours by just buying ice, and from the NPC, from the builder, and then flipping it on Bazaar gives you a lot of more money, especially at the moment. So it's actually quite like a good NPC flip. So I'd recommend doing that once you hit Skyblock level 7 and doing it every 24 hours. I've not been doing it every 24 hours, but to be fair, I'm not too bothered, because the next thing I'm doing is farming in the next episode anyway, so I can earn quite a lot of money from that. But to get a bunch more XP to get to Skyblock level 7, I made a golden shovel and enchanted it with, you can guess it, efficiency 5. But I would also like to mention that you can do this with efficiency 3 and it still instantly mines sand. Don't worry, I just wanted the extra enchanting and Skyblock XP, so I went for efficiency 5, which is a lot more expensive, but I wanted the XP, so I can't complain. But if you don't have the 30 levels and you don't have the money to buy the enchanted bottles, don't worry about it. You can still just get to 3. You can even just mine it for a bit with just an unenchanted golden shovel. It'll still be quite slow, but it'll be quicker than like a wooden shovel or something like that. And then once I'd actually finished mining all of the sand, actually I was close to level 7 at this point, but I didn't actually realise. But yeah, went back to the lobby. I was gonna sell all the sand, and then I was like, no, I'm just gonna make a minion because extra Skyblock XP. So made all the sand that I needed into the minion, then made it into enchanted sand to upgrade the minion a bit further, which then made me hit Skyblock level 7. something I'd also like to mention. If you want quick mining XP, Mine Sand, max it out. It's only like 5k collection. It doesn't actually take that long. You would think it does, but you just need to run around for like 10, probably not even 10 minutes. You're running around for, because it's such an easy block. And then you get yourself a bunch of free XP and a bunch of mining levels as well. So if you want to get to the Dover mines a lot quicker, but you don't want to mine all of the stuff, then obviously you can, if you're not on Ironman, buy it off Bazaar and then mine sand to get to 12, mining 12. It's a lifesaver, just a little top tip. And then that is when, once I hit Skyblock level 7, that is when I've done the ice trades by going to the builder, getting normal ice and packed ice. It's important to get both because you still get money from both, although I think ice gives you less of a profit, but it's still profit, so it's still worth it. And that is where I flipped it. Now it did actually take, I think it took quite a while for both of them to fully fill, but sometimes it can take forever, sometimes it can take literally 2 seconds. You'll exit out of Bazaar and it'll tell you that both your orders are already full, so it just depends on the day how quick they fill. But I definitely recommend doing your little ice trades, because if you want to spend a lot of money and you're not good with your Skyblock money like me, then you know, that's like just a little booster every day just to get some extra money. But yeah, just try and remember the time that you do it, or try and do it around the same time every day, because obviously you can't do it at like 23.5 hours since the last time. It has to be at least 24 hours. But yeah, so I was pretty happy that I hit level 7, because that means everything from now on is going to be a lot easier. If I want to upgrade minions, I can use the Bazaar. If I need to make some sacks, I can use the Bazaar to buy the enchanted leather, and I don't have to go get all the leather myself like you would on Ironman. So Ironman players, you will have to obviously grind that yourself. You can only use Bazaar for booster cookies if you're an Ironman player, which sucks, but that's the rules. I'd also like to mention booster cookies are so expensive and they're constantly rising. So if you can't get a booster cookie like very quick, don't worry about it. Save your money and then eventually get one. However, that is all for today's video. If you did enjoy and enjoyed the little commentary that I've done, please consider liking and subscribing, because this has stuck me ever. So yeah, it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. And also, if you would like to check me out on any other of my platforms, all my socials will be linked down below, including all my other channels, if I can link them all. So feel free to check me out on everything else if you would like to, if you'd like to get some extra content. But with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye everyone.